Okay, so today we are going to talk about why NEXA lending or why not NEXA lending, right? So I'm really excited to kind of show you guys. It's just going to be my story. So this is my story of how I made the move to NEXA, what my thoughts are on everything, what NEXA has to offer. And obviously, this is from my perspective. So let me go ahead and share my screen here. And if you know me, you know that I will have a million tabs open right now, which is literally usually all of my to-do list. Okay. So once again, real quick in the chat, I put partner with Danielle D .com / Nexa, brayfunding.com / MLO page. This is the form to fill out if you want to meet with me afterwards. And some of you on here might be a loan officer trying to figure out, should I make a move or not? Some of you might be in real estate, wanting to know more about our real estate duly licensed RELO program. Some of you might be just business development marketers wanting to get a little bit more of an understanding on how NEXA works. So I'm going to go over all of that today, but there is my contact information. If you have any questions afterwards, you want to reach out, you want to book a 15-minute strategy call with me, that's going to be at book.donebyone.ai. That is my contact information. And once again, partner with danielld.com / Nexa. That is going to have all of the information on NEXA lending, as well as the 3 different videos that I have on there. So I want to start out with just telling you guys my story and why I made the move. So I have been in real estate and mortgage since 2001. I had absolutely no idea what I wanted to do with my life when I graduated college. I went to Bentley University. My parents owned restaurants. I thought that's what I would do. I would stay in Massachusetts my whole life, but on a whim, moved to Florida, did not know what I wanted to do. And I got started in 2001 right away with AmeriQuest mortgage. That is definitely showing my age, and subprime lender. And I became a loan officer. It was actually a ton of fun. Everyone was in their 20s, and it was a good time. Anyone that has been in real estate and mortgage during the years of like 2002 to, let's just say, 2007, 2006, 2007 knows how much of a fun ride that was as well. I owned my own real estate company, my own mortgage company. Everything was amazing until it wasn't. And then the market crashed. So 2008 is when the market crashed. We sold our real estate and mortgage. Well, we didn't sell it, actually. We shut it down. Let's be honest here. We shut down our real estate and mortgage company in 2008, and I decided to go full time into real estate. So I sold real estate in Southwest Florida. I then moved to Miami in 2012. I sold real estate in Miami until the middle to end of 2016 when we decided to relocate back to Southwest Florida. I absolutely loved real estate, but one of the things that I did not like about real estate is how local it is. And if you know me, you know that I love to travel and really wanted to be able to work from anywhere in the world. So I decided at that point to go back into mortgage. I was actually interviewing at a Keller Williams real estate office, and Movement Mortgage was in the office. So I said, hey, maybe I'll go back into mortgage. I did. I got started with Movement Mortgage. After a couple of years, I moved to Guaranteed Rate, and then was there for 2 years. And after that, I moved to CMG. Okay. So I knew Guaranteed Rate was not the right fit for me. I was trying to figure out what lender to make a move to. I went to CMG. CMG was a great company. Nothing bad to say about CMG. I still use them currently. But what happened was in 2022 in Southwest Florida, we got hit with Hurricane Ian. And our area was literally devastated. And I started saying to myself, I need more loan programs to help my clients. Like at CMG, we had the conventional, the FHA, the VA, we had the all-in-one loan. That was great. But we did not have any strong programs for real estate investors. We didn't have any fix and flip loans. We didn't have any out of the box things that a lot of my clients were coming to me and they actually needed. And so I was watching my business go elsewhere, and I was like, okay, I think it's time for me to make a move to a company. I don't know what company, but a company that is going to offer more products. Okay. And the last thing I wanted to do, because if you're looking at my track record right here, the last thing I wanted to do was go to another company again for 2 years and leave. I was like, I need to take my time. I need to make sure where I'm going is going to be the right company. So I interviewed. I knew my time was going to be up at CMG, but I literally interviewed with a million different companies, just making sure that whatever move I was going to do was the right fit. I had a friend that was at NEXA Lending. They were trying to get me to come to NEXA. In March of that year, I did go and I went to UWM and I went to a whole Why NEXA thing. And I never joined NEXA until October. So if some of you guys are on this call and you're thinking, oh gosh, I don't want to talk to anybody at NEXA because I don't know if it's the right move or whatever, I encourage you to have the conversation. Go to, go with us to some of our Why AXEN meetings, which are in Michigan. Learn as much as you possibly can to see if it's the right fit for you, right? You won't know unless you actually start getting out there and talking to people. And it took me that long before I made the move. So 2023, I moved to NEXA. I have been with NEXA since then. I have zero plans on going anywhere else. And I moved my license from EXP Realty, which I do not sell real estate. In fact, if I get real estate deals, I give them back to the people that work on loans with me, regardless if you're with AXEN Realty or not. But I have my license, my real estate license hung with AXEN Realty. So here is the biggest thing. I was so scared to go from a retail lending environment, which is what I was used to, which is what the majority of the people were doing, or working for retail, right? Especially after 2008. So prior to 2008, I had my own mortgage company. It was a correspondent lender. We were a correspondent lender. Okay. After that, it seemed like a lot of the broker shops or correspondent lenders shut down. And the majority of the people doing loans were at a company like CMG, Movement, Cross Country, Guaranteed Rate, those types of things. So I was so scared to go from what I knew to the broker world. I thought it was going to be crazy, right? Who's going to process my loans? Is it going to be a good processor? What are the turn times for underwriting? Now I'm going to have like a million different loan lenders to choose from. How am I going to know what lenders to pick? I was so confused. I was so overwhelmed, and I was so close to not making the move because I was scared. I was so scared of the unknown. But what I told myself is, okay, I'm going to go, I'm going to try it. And I'll share with you guys in just a little bit. And I can brand myself because Nexa lets you come on and brand yourself as a DBA to where I don't need to use Nexa's name, right? And if I brand myself as Bray Funding and decide to go to another broker, no one's going to know because I'm still always going to be Bray Funding. So if you're ever wondering why you see Danielle at Bray Funding and Nexa Lending, that is why. So, anyways, I was very confused. I was overwhelmed. I didn't know what to do. I was interviewing with a lot of companies. I interviewed with Edge, Barrett, Neo. I can't even remember like who else, but it was a lot because I did not want to make another move after moving to Nexa, right? And I was just scared of the unknown. But I can assure you that it was the best move. And I get so many, yes, these are UWM. And if you currently work with UWM, you know how quick they close loans. But I get so many, clear to closes and like same day approvals, not just with UWM, but with a lot of our other lenders as well. So you are not giving up anything. You're actually gaining so much by coming to a company where you have a lot of different options. So here's the other reason why I made the move to Nexa. Okay. Nexa had the best of both worlds. So I was very used to the non-delegated or retail world. I was not used to the broker world at all, right? And so at Nexa, we have the option to close loans broker or closed loans non-delegated, which is basically the same as retail. And so 95% of my loans are all closed non-del. Okay. And I know that there's some other broker shops out there that have non-del as well. But what I have found is our non-delegated is so much more robust, and we have so many lenders that are non-delegated that a lot of than a lot of the other broker shops. So we have access to over 300 lenders right now. And if you have a lender that you are used to using and you want to bring that lender onto NEXA, they are more than happy to get signed up with other lenders. So a lot of times, if you have a specific niche product that you need a specific lender for, NEXA will get signed up for them. So you basically can say yes to any type of loan, right? As I mentioned in the beginning, the fix and flips, the bridge loans, commercial, SBA, business funding, our HELOC. We have an in-house HELOC loan program where it is all done online. We literally don't have to do anything but send the link, and we get 220 basis points on that loan. It is insane. It is amazing. And home equity lines of credit are a lot of people are getting them right now. So no matter what type of loan we have, you can say yes to, which is awesome. And then you have the choice to either do the loan or refer it. And I'm going to talk about that in just a little bit also. If you have clients, investors that want to close in an LLC and they're closing in a state that you are not licensed in, you can still close the deal in that state. The only state, of course, my home state of Massachusetts is the only state that NEXA is not licensed in right now. But I am closing loans in Massachusetts for clients that are investors that want to close in an LLC. So if you have clients, investors, closing commercial deals in an LLC in other states, you can do the loan and you do not have to be licensed. We also have out of the country loans. So Spain, Portugal, we have offices in Puerto Rico. This really is a way to be, international and global and work for a lending company. And if you follow me, you know that I was just in Spain and in Europe for 3 months, working from there, working remote, not a single problem at all. And our company doesn't care, which is the other thing I love. Before, when I was at CMG or guaranteed rate, I had their computer. Because they give you a computer to use, right? I had all of their stuff. And so we always had to get permission if I wanted to go on vacation and work from somewhere else. With Nexa, we have loan officers that literally travel all over the world and work from their computer and have zero problems. So if you're interested in that, I can show you how to do that because that is one of the things that I do. Okay. So we have so many different loan programs because we have over 300 lenders. They're always coming out with different things. Right now, for example, UWM has a 1.0 buy down on interest rates. So what that means is that for the first year of the entire loan, UWM is paying for the cost of the interest rate to be 1% lower. So if they're locking the rate today at 6.25, for example, UWM is going to cover the cost, and that interest rate will be 5.25 for the first year. So UWM has that program right now. There's always different lenders that are coming up with different incentives, different programs that you can then go and offer to your clients. And I can honestly tell you, I never had that when I worked at, for any retail lender. Movement, guaranteed rate, CMG, we didn't have these special loan programs. I wasn't able to do any type of loan. Okay. So you also have on the broker loans, you can go borrower paid cost. And I'm not going to get into pricing right now because I know it can get very confusing. But BPC or LPC, lender paid cost, you can earn on broker loans up to 275 basis points. On the non-delegated side, you have the ability to earn over 275 basis points. So you are not capped at the 275. One of the things that I absolutely love, and if you are a retail loan officer right now, you know this to be true, to where if you have a loan and you submit it to underwriting, and that loan gets denied because of whatever, right? The underwriter wasn't seeing eye to eye on the income, or there was something in the loan, but you know that that loan 100% could get closed somewhere else. If you are retail, there's nothing you can do. When that loan gets denied, that loan is denied. You can't help that client anymore. When you are with NEXA and that loan gets denied, and you know that loan is definitely a loan that can get closed, you can pull it from that lender and send it somewhere else, right? That is honestly the best. That is how you have the ability, one of the ways to help more clients. And I know a lot of other broker shops are the same as well. But that is one of the biggest differences that I see between going retail and going with a broker and non-delegated shop is you have the ability to switch lenders. You have the ability to shop it around to a bunch of different lenders to see who will do the deal. You cannot do that in retail. If you have an appraisal that comes in low on retail and you know that it was a faulty appraisal, but you're not getting anywhere with that appraiser, well, guess what? You can order another appraisal with us, right? And so we have so much more flexibility when it comes to the loans and being able to help our clients than you do with retail. So we also have the ability to order our appraisals through our own preferred AMC, appraisal management company. And a lot of times, if I'm unsure, especially in this market, because you and I know right now, this market is a very tough market. It is very competitive and prices are going down in some areas. So if I am unsure if this property is going to appraise, I can call the AMC and say, hey, this is what we're thinking for this property, or this is what it has. It has an addition that was unpermitted, da da da, and have the conversation with the AMC, and they can get guidance from a local appraiser before we even appraise the property or go down that route. So having all of this flexibility is going to help better your clients, first of all. And then the more people you help get what they want, which is a new home, the more ways you will get exactly what you want, which is, more money, more flexibility, and more freedom. So non-delegated, I'm just going to brush on this real quick, right? This does not mean retail. We have 30 to 40 investors. We're always getting new investors. Yes, some are we're getting rid of some that are not working with us. We're good in a good way, and we're bringing on more all the time. We do not underwrite our own loans. The lender actually underwrites the loans, but our interest rates are just as good with as broker rates, and we have more flexibility. We have more flexibility than on retail, and we have more flexibility than going broker. So when you're retail, like I was just saying, you really only have one option. If you're working for cross country mortgage, for example, or movement mortgage or whoever, right? Guaranteed rate. You submit the file to underwriting. That file gets denied. You're done, right? That file, they don't approve the condo. You're done. With us, you can then go ahead and take it to another lender. It doesn't mean you're done, right? Because no doesn't always mean no. And that's why they, called me the loan rescuer for so long, is because I have ways that I can strategically and compliantly structure a deal to make it work. Okay. And so they always say, you hear the saying, brokers are better, but what I want to say is non-delegated correspondent is the best, and NEXA is a big win because not only do you have a great broker platform, you also have a great non-del platform as well. So you are getting literally the best of both worlds. I have people that came over to NEXA. They worked with me at other companies and they pretty much broker everything out. They don't really do non-del, where 95% of my loans are non-delegated. Okay. So here's the other thing. When you're retail, right, you have the ability, you're only W-2. That's it. When you're retail, you're W-2. When you are at NEXA, you have the ability to be 1099 or W-2. Okay. So you can choose what you want to be, unless you're licensed, and I'll show you in a second, unless you're licensed in a state that is W-2 only. The other thing that you can do, as I mentioned before, is brand your own team. So if you want to become, modern day funding or whatever your team is, I have a real estate company called Berkshire Real Estate Holdings. It's an investment company. We've had it for a while. That's what Brave Funding is. Berkshire Real Estate Holdings. It's just the funding part of it. So that is how I branded mine. And I don't have to use NEXA because NEXA set me up as a DBA. So there's a little bit more in detail with that. So I do want to, if you're interested in that, like I said, in the chat has the link where you can get more information, or if you're watching a replay on this, maybe on YouTube or whatever, just check in the comments, schedule an appointment with me, and we can go over all of this. So our NEXA tech fee, it's actually $80 a month. And it might be 75 W2, but let's just go with 80. Okay. And then that is just a monthly fee that is going to give you access to many different things. Number one, it's going to give you access to the G Suite, the Gmail, everything is in there from, all of in the drive, all of the things that you would need, as well as the logos. Now, Lending Pad or Arrive used to be a thing. Maybe it will come back. They just stopped. Arrive is having a lot of issues. So anybody coming over, now you can pay for your own Arrive if you want to, but you will need a Lending Pad account because Lending Pad is typically what we have to submit everything through. Okay. So it's $80 a month. It's charged by NEXA every single month. When it comes to credit reports, this was another big fear that I had. Oh my gosh, like I'm so used to retail. They're paying for all the credit reports. And if you are paying for the credit report, you know how costly a credit report can be. So we have multiple different credit reporting agencies. You can choose whoever you want to use. You can have the client pay for the credit, which is typically what I do. They're paying for it anyways. So whether they pay for it at closing on the settlement statement or they pay for it up front and are able to get a copy of their credit report, it's the same thing. So I have my clients pay for that up front. But we also have lenders that are allowing right now free credit reports. So if you're submitting it to that lender, you can do what I'm doing is just a soft pull. So I know exactly what their score is. And then I'm submitting that loan to the lender and I'm doing a hard pull with the lender for free. Okay. Um, Processing. That was another thing I was scared about. I'm like, who's going to process my loans? I literally cannot not have a processor. I am terrible when it comes to like, I don't have patience, right? I don't want to upload a file into UWM and like, I have zero patience for any of that stuff. So I am very blessed to have found awesome processors since coming to NEXA. But I always encourage people to interview different processors. So our sister company is called Secured Mortgage Processing. Okay. They are not part of NEXA, but it's a processing team. It's a processing company where they're basically like, I want to say in-house. So once you get our loan officer support, which I'll show you guys that in a second, but once you get into our loan officer support platform, all of the loan processors are there. And what's awesome about the processors is you can read all of their reviews. It's almost like Yelp or like Google reviews. You can read all of the reviews that other loan officers have said, whether it's good or bad, I'm working with that particular processor. So you can call them, you can interview them. Once you find one or two that works, because some of them might go on vacation, stick with those two. You also have the ability through them to have an LOA. So if you want a processor and you also want that processor to be your loan officer assistant, okay, then you can have an LOA. It's called LOA Plus, which is your LOA and your processor. They are paid at closing. They are not a monthly, an hourly fee or whatever. It's $14.95 a file. If the processing you're using SNP and it's a normal deal, it's $9.95 a file. Those are on section B of the settlement statement. Those are third-party fees. Those get paid for from the client at closing. And if the loan doesn't close, you don't get paid and the processor doesn't get paid, right? So it's not like you're, coming out of pocket. So that was a huge thing for me. I was like, who's going to process my loans? Are they going to be good? When do they work? Like they're on straight commission too. They're not salary like they are sitting around twiddling their thumbs at a lot of other, no, I don't want to say it like that, but at a lot of other, companies, I've used loan processors that are just not that good, right? Or, we have a closing scheduled and there's issues on the file and they decide to go get their nails done or whatever. It's not, I've had many like that also. So I was very scared, but I can assure you that we will find you, if you do decide to come over, the best processor out there, or some people like to process their own. So we also have, I'm going to get into the Nexa 100 in a little bit, but we also have Nexa 100 where you can literally earn up to 100% commission on your loans. That additional commission, and I'm going to show it in a second, is going to go to your ledger. So I'll explain that in a few minutes. And then also downline income, revenue share. That is one of the other things that I absolutely love about Nexa. If you look at an EXP model or you look at AXEN Realty, which is new, they've only been around for about a year, that's revenue share. Some of these other companies out there, and I'm pretty sure Keller Williams, for example, is one of them, is profit share. What is the difference? The difference between revenue share is that you are getting a piece of the revenue of that file. Like if you have people in your downline, right? Profit share is you are getting a piece of that profit. Guess what? How many times do companies try to not make a profit, right? So if there's no profit, there's no profit share. And that's what happens with a lot of these other companies that say they're going to give you, however amount of profit share. But if you really look at it, how much profit are they making and how much are you actually getting, right? Where revenue share, you're getting it from the revenue on every single deal. So I'll show you guys how that works in a second. These are the states that require W-2. If you are in Florida and you're a 1099 person, but you're also licensed in Georgia, well, guess what? You got to go W-2 because Georgia's W-2. So you can't pick and choose what files you get paid W-2 and 1099. I don't want to talk too much about this because I don't really know the ins and outs. Once again, if you want to meet with me and you are very interested in this, I can get more information on it for you. But I know that, or I'm pretty sure that there is a way now where you can be a W-2 but not get the taxes taken out. Okay. So ask me about that. We'll get more information about it. I don't know exactly how it works and I don't want to like misspeak here. But that was another huge thing for me, right? I was at CMG, I was at Movement, I was at Guaranteed Rate, and guess what I had? I had expenses. I had business expenses that I could not expense. Why? Because I was a W-2 employee, right, of that company. So now being at Nexa, because I'm 1099, I can expense things that are actual legitimate business expenses. Here's the other awesome thing. If you are W-2 because you're licensed in one of these states that require you to be W-2, Nexa has a way to expense a lot of your things through what's called a divvy card. Okay. So if you want to expense your marketing, you want to expense your CRM, you want to expense, your office, you want to expense whatever, and your W-2, you still have the option to expense that. And in my personal opinion, this is another huge reason why making the move from the traditional retail, lender, why are you going to pay for all of this stuff in your business and not be able to expense it when it's a legitimate business expense? And that's how it was for me, spending years not being able to expense things, but having a lot of business expenses that I just could not expense, right? The other thing that I was scared of was support. And that was one of the biggest things. First of all, I am not the type of person that needs someone to hold my hand and tell me what to like. If I need something immediately, I'm going to figure it out immediately. I will call people, do whatever it takes to figure out like the answer to my question now, because as you know, if you know me, I have very little patience and I hate waiting. So I'm going to figure out, I think that's a Jay-Z song, by the way. But I'm going to figure out what I need to get done now immediately, right? So I was very scared. Like, who do I go to? The first step is your upline. That's the first person. So I was very lucky when Dan Denniston is somebody who brought me over. He has been with the company since I want to say 2019. I think that's when it opened. He is basically like in home office. He knows all of the people that if I need an answer, I'm going to get the answer immediately. And he is right above me. Right above him is, or in my top of my line or whatever, which I think this is important, is Michael Neal, who ran the entire non-delegated department. Okay. So if I need anything, I have the people to go to. If I didn't have that, you're still going to be okay at NEXA, right? You're still going to be okay because we have the best support out there. We have the best support that there is. But having people to go to and get an answer quickly that has been around the company for a long, long, long time is very, very important also. Okay. So if you are a new loan officer, oh, that's one of the other things I'm going to put in the chat. For loan officers, well, for potential loan officers, people that are not licensed yet, but let's say you're a brand new loan officer, you just got your license, okay? NEXA has a couple of options for you. First of all, you can go into NEXA University. So this is for brand new loan officers. It's a 6-month training program. How you graduate is you close 6 loans within the training program. Okay. And then a portion of that commission goes to your loan officer support coaches. Now, this training program is amazing. It is going to go over everything from how to structure a loan, how to find the loans, scripting, prospecting, social media, like everything that you need to know to get a mortgage, and then everything that you need to know to close a mortgage. They are going to teach you. After you close 6 loans, you're done, and you should know how to do everything at that point. It is there to train you to get the loans and then close them. So that is one option. Okay. Another option is if you are self-sufficient like me and you join a team that is willing to take you on as a brand new loan officer, and then that team lead. So me, for example, would be your mentor. I'm taking you on as a newly licensed loan officer. I am going to basically train you, and then I am getting a percentage of your commission when loans close. Okay. So that's for brand new loan officers. If you do not have your license and you're thinking about getting your license, we also have a 4-week program through United Wholesale Mortgage. It's called Broker X. Once again, in the chat, or if you're watching the replay of this in the comments of the video, I will put the link. Get with me and I will give you more information on that program. That is basically going to get you trained to become a licensed loan officer. They handle everything for you. I want to say the cost is like $300. Okay. The next thing is NEXA training. So we have literally, I want to say at least 7 or 8, if not more, live trainings every single day in our NEXA community. So everything from how to price a loan, they have tips from the top. So they'll interview a top loan officer, how to do reverse mortgages, how to do a VA IRRRL, social media marketing, branding, AI, any type of training you could possibly think of, we have at NEXA, and we have tons of training. Here's the best part. If you miss any of those trainings, we have something called LOS TV. And LOS TV has the replays. So you can maybe be interested in reverse mortgage, but know nothing about it. And you can go watch all of the replay videos on reverse mortgages. The other thing that's huge is our private internal Facebook page. I use this all the time. Now, are there other sources for me to go and find answers to questions? I'll give you a prime example. I have a 5-plex right now. Okay. It's a commercial loan. I don't do a ton of commercial. Well, I don't want to say that actually, because I do a lot of investing, we do a lot of investing ourselves. But anyways, this one's a little unique because it has a low loan amount. So all of the lenders that I'm reaching out to, I'm giving them the scenario. Hey, can you do this? Purchase price, Pennsylvania, close an LLC. Here's the property address, looking for 75%, blah, blah, blah. No one can do it except one lender because of the loan amount. The loan amount was too low. So I put in our internal Facebook page my scenario, and other loan officers with similar, situations or experiences are commenting, try this lender, do this. This is the lender. So if like our internal Facebook page is amazing. That is where I go. And I love looking at other people's questions because all of them sometimes I'm like, oh, that's a really good question. I never thought about that. Or I look at some scenarios that people have with a particular loan and I'm like, oh, that's a really good way to, fix that problem, right? Because that's what we are, whether you're in real estate or mortgage, we are problem solvers and we're like the therapists for our clients, right? So anyways, we have the private internal Facebook page. We have tons of webinars every single day. We have the LOS TV where you can re-watch the webinars. But what we also have is loan officer support coaches. Okay. This is huge. I have not seen any other company. And when I was interviewing other companies and I was like, okay, I know that there's going to be a learning curve. I have been in mortgage since 2001. I know how to do a loan, right? I know how to structure a loan. I know how to do everything, but I don't know how to submit a loan to UWM, which I still don't, even though I've been here for 2.5 years because my processor does that. I don't have to do that. But I didn't know how to do the pricing, right? It was all new to me. I didn't know certain things. So you can hop onto our loan officer support. This is our platform. It's soon to change, but for right now, this is what it is. And we have live coaches there to answer any question you have. If you have an issue with Arrive or Lending Pad and you can't figure out how to get the debt to income ratio to work, you can hop on with an LOS coach. If you need help with a construction to perm loan because you don't know how to structure that, you can hop on with an LOS coach. There's got to be at least 20 different coaches live all the time waiting for you. So we are a Zoom company. What I mean by that, and I'm going to show you in a second, is that if you need anything, you need to hop on Zoom, whether it's on your cell phone or it is on the computer, it doesn't matter, but you need to hop on Zoom in order to talk to somebody. So our LOS coaches are on there on Zoom waiting to talk to you for whatever it is that you need help for. And they are so helpful and you are not paying anything for them. Okay. So where they're making their money, they're doing it for free. But where they're making their money is a lot of them are licensed in multiple states. And then they offer what's called a Pathfinder loan or a Navigator loan. So, what that means is if you decide to go with let's just say, I'll give you an example. Okay. I had a construction to perm deal and I was not sure how to actually structure it, price it, all that stuff. Okay. So I teamed up with a Pathfinder coach, and that coach helped me through the process. She was not there holding my hand the entire time, but she helped me, a lot more than just going to an LOS coach. I wanted more of a hands-on experience. So what was my cost? And keep in mind, I'm doing the webinar now. Things can change when it comes to BIPs and stuff like that, but my cost was 50 basis points to the LOS coach. To me, that is so reasonable because I got all the help that I needed, got the loan to close, 50 basis points to an LOS coach that literally held my hand throughout the entire process. Now, we also have a Navigator loan. Let's say it's a reverse mortgage. I have zero idea how to do it. First of all, I'm probably going to be referring those out. But let's just say I wanted to try it on my own, right? I would go with a Navigator loan. I would get a coach that knows how to do reverse mortgages. Me and the coach would team up. We will do the deal together, and the commission gets split 50-50. Now, I want you to think about this because over the past couple of weeks, I have talked to some people and they have said, Danielle, I absolutely love training people. I love helping people. I love training people. This is the best way for you to make extra money not just on your own loans, but if you come on to NEXA and you have a niche, your niche is reverse mortgage, your niche is commercial, your niche is construction to perm, your niche is manufactured homes, whatever your niche is, right? You can brand yourself as an expert in that niche, become an LOS coach, and then help do these Pathfinder loans, these Navigator loans, help train new loan officers. And now you are getting paid for deals that you're not out there hunting for, right? Because they're bringing the deals to you, you're doing them together, and you're getting a split that way. What I love about NEXA, and I'm a huge proponent of multiple streams of income. Thank you to my Bob Proctor coaching. And, making money from a lot of different streams, that's what NEXA allows you to do if you want to. Some people are like, you know what? I'm just happy doing the loans. I don't even want to do anything. I just want to do loans. That's it. Don't talk to anybody. I can be in Spain on the beach doing my loans. Or some people are like, you know what? I don't want to like hunt for loans anymore. I want to do the loans that come to me, but I also love training. So I'm going to become an LOS coach. And then I can also offer Navigator loans or Pathfinder loans or whatever. The other thing that you can do is team up. So I have a commercial deal right now, not the fiveplex, another one. And I teamed up with a commercial expert at NEXA, and we are on a team split. So all of my deals that I do with him is like a 60-40 split, I think it is, where he is helping me on my commercial deals. So I can either refer my deals out or I can team up with somebody, which is what I did, right? So we have a million different ways to make money here at NEXA and to get your deals closed. But going back to the support is huge. I don't know. I mean, I looked at other companies and I was like, yeah, the company sounds great. It's a flat fee per file, but where's the support? Like, where's my opportunity to make additional money? Like, so anyways, when I talk about weekly meetings, I'm just showing you an example. I took this clip yesterday. These are examples of weekly meetings that we have, right? So you can see we have the $1 Million Playbook. We have Why Nexa BDM program, Why UWM, turning equity into freedom, probably about the CMG all-in-one loan. So we have meetings, trainings. These are all on Zoom. These are all live daily. This is the LOS TV that I was talking about. So if you have something like, I'll give you another, I feel like I'm giving you a ton of examples, but Bevry.ai, I'm going to talk about that in briefly because I don't really know a whole lot about it, but that is a new AI software that we have. And that is something that has been on my to-do list to learn how to do because I have heard that it is freaking amazing. Instead of sending out your loan application link to people to fill out, like my lending pad link, my Bevry's all set up already. I just haven't sent it out yet. So if I send out my Bevry link, what the system is supposed to do is as long as the clients have all of their documentation, their W-2s, their pay stubs, all the stuff that they need, and they upload it into the system or it connects with Plaid, it's going to automatically scrub the entire file, calculate the income, calculate the assets, do everything that you would normally do that normally takes 20 minutes to scrub a file, right? The system is doing it for you. So anyways, if I wanted to learn more about Bevry, right, and I missed all of the meetings, I can come back here to LOS and watch the replay on Bevry or watch the replay on reverse mortgages or watch the replay on BDM. So all of our LOS TV, we have the replays. And that's just really going back to how much support we actually have. Let me look at something real quick. Okay, no, forget it. So I want to talk to you guys about the NEXA comp calculation because I've had a lot of people that I've talked to and they're like, well, I get a flat fee per file taken out. Okay. I have somebody coming over that I spoke to about a week ago. We looked at pricing with her current company and NEXA. Okay. They were only allowed to make a certain amount at certain lenders. So like, for example, one of the lenders, they could only make 225 basis points. So when we looked at the interest rate with what she would be making at 225 and took the same exact interest rate with what we could make at that same exact lender, which was 275, you were making more at NEXA, but the interest rate of what you were giving and charging to the client was the exact same. Okay. So I want you to think about that. If you in your mind are thinking, well, I'm getting a flat fee per file, or so I'm got to be making more money at my current company. Not necessarily. Same thing if you own your own brokerage, right? How much compliance and this and that and da 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 do you have? So I would recommend scheduling a time to meet with me if you do want to look at apples to apples so we can see and price out a couple of different loans and see. I mean, maybe, I don't know, but I'm just letting you know what I've experienced over the past couple of weeks talking to people and looking at actual interest rates, especially people that are on that flat fee per file. Okay. So let's look at a broker transaction. You can go up to 275 basis points. NEXA takes 25 basis points and 12%. That is what they take per deal. 25 basis point operating cost, 12% is NEXA's profit. Okay. Remember what I said before. Profit is also revenue share. So we're looking at the revenue share per deal, not at the end of the year, not at the end of the quarter to see if there was any profit or blah, blah, blah. And then you get your tiny little portion. We're talking about per deal. So I'll talk about the revenue share afterwards, but NEXA is going to take 25 basis points for their operating cost plus 12%. So your net, if you did 275, your net commission is going to be 220. You don't have to do the math in your head. If anyone is doing math, I'm typically waiting on you to do the math because I'm just like, okay, you figure out the math and let me know, or I'm getting on my calculator. You don't have to do the math. I'm going to show you guys in a second a quick screenshot of like how the math is done for you. Okay. But let's say, and then your W-2, right? So 220 basis points is your net commission. If you're W-2, you got to take out an additional 12% for the taxes. As I said before, there might be a possibility where you're not getting the taxes taken out. So we need to check into that. Okay. Non-del. If you go non-del, that's different than broker. You can do or earn 350, let's just say up to 350 basis points. Let's say you have a VA loan and you priced it at 350. And in fact, I think you can go higher than that, but let's just use 350, right? You minus the 25 bips, you're at 325, you deduct the 12%. So you're at 286. Okay. So that is your comp to you on 286. If you're doing reverse mortgages or anything else, your comp is going to be so much more because a lot of those pay out a lot more. Okay. Non-del transaction with ledger funds. So what this means, and this is how the NEXA 100 gets paid out also, and I'm going to explain that in a second. But some loans, the difference between what you're allowed to make, so let's just say the LO comp of 220, right? That's the net comp. So let's say you charge 350, right? Minus the 25 and the 12, then you're going to have 68 basis points left over between the 220 and the net. That will go to your ledger. So let me just explain. I know that's kind of confusing there. So let me explain. Okay. This is the NEXA comp not calendar schedule thing that I would tell you to look at, right? This is where the math is done for you. So if you have a margin of 275, you can see that your comp is going to be 220. If you have a margin of 250, right, or you price the loan at 102.5, then your net comp is going to be 198, right? If you price the loan at 102.25, right, then your net comp is going to be 176. If you go non-del, you can charge whatever. Okay. We have something called NEXA 100. What NEXA 100 is and why it came about is because Mike Cordes, who's the CEO, said, you loan officers are going to be able to grow the company a lot quicker and a lot faster than if I were to do it on my own. So he encourages us to bring in other loan officers or RELOs, real estate loan officers, or BDMs, which I'll explain all of that in a little bit into the company. Okay. If you look at the bottom under the NEXA partnership compensation plan, if you recruit one person into NEXA, they come under your downline, you now can get 100% commission on your closed loans. Now, in order to get that 100% commission, they have to close that a loan that month. So if they close a loan in June, that means that all of your June closings, you can get 100% commission only if you send it to certain lenders. So you can see at the bottom here, this is an old slide. These are not the NEXA 100 lenders. I'm going to show you the NEXA 100 lenders in a minute. But that means that if I have a recruit and that recruit closes a loan in June, all of my loans for June are going to get NEXA 100. Okay. And so I will earn up to 100% on those deals if I send it to a certain lender. So what does that mean? Let's say I price a loan, or my margin on that loan is 275. Okay. We know that my net comp is going to be 220. So then the difference between the 220 and the 275 that NEXA would normally go to NEXA, the 25 and 12, that's going to go to my ledger. Okay. The difference between the two is going to go to my ledger. And so I am now getting my net comp of 220. The difference between 220 to 275 will go to my ledger. And that your ledger builds so incredibly quick. I can tell you, I have paid for coaching programs. I have paid for my CRM. I have paid for marketing. I have paid for flights to conferences, right? All with my ledger money, my office space with my ledger money. Okay. So everything, this is how the NEXA 100 works. If you bring 5 people in, then you get 100%, right? Once again, and any loan over 3 million for that particular month, you will also get 100%. So that's how, if you look on the right, the 100% NEXA loans, where it has your junior partner, associate partner. This is on recruiting. Some of you guys have zero interest in recruiting. Okay. So I'm not going to go too far into this. But the other thing with NEXA is that every day is payday. So if you close a loan today and you submit to payroll today, and guess what? You have all your ducks in a row and everything is in the file, you can get paid today. Where a lot of other companies, if you submit a loan, you close a loan, you might be waiting 2 weeks before you even get paid on that loan, right? So that is another awesome thing about NEXA. So this is the NEXA University comp, but I want to show you guys, just kind of like explain it also, the NEXA 100 a little bit better here as well. And we have webinars on NEXA University. So if you are thinking about coming on, you're a brand new loan officer, you want more information on NEXA University, once again, click the link and I will send you, click the link below, fill out the form, and you and I can hop on a call and we'll talk about it. But let's just look at the right here. Let's just look at the loan amount of 600,000. Okay. So let's just say that you're a NEXA University student. There's a $4,000 cap per loan, right? So you charge 275, the broker check is 16,500. You minus the 25 bips and the 12%. So $3,300 is coming out of that deal. Okay. Your net comp is going to be 13,200, and then you have to give the $4,000 to the university. So you're on those 6 loans. Once you graduate, you're not doing that anymore. So your income is going to be $9,200 on that $600,000 loan. Okay. If we look at a $250,000 loan amount, once again, you go through the math. The broker check is 68.75 minus the NEXA operating cost and 12%. We're looking at 13.75, right? Is going to go to NEXA. So that's $5,500. Then we take out 75 basis points, and then your check is 36.25. But here is what gets interesting. Okay. When you come to NEXA for the first 6 months, you are on NEXA 100. Once again, I need to give a disclaimer because that's as of right now. Okay. That could change a year from now. I don't know. So I don't, this video might be up for a while. So disclaimer, that's right now. So you get NEXA 100 for this first 6 months. So guess what? That comp, right? The 30, let's look at the $600,000 loan amount. the $3,300 that would be going to NEXA is actually going to your ledger. Okay. That is the amount that will be going to your ledger that you can then use on Facebook ads, on marketing, on whatever it is that you want to use it on, or even bonusing yourself, right? But that NEXA op cost and profit that would normally be going to NEXA is going to your ledger for the first 6 months. So we are giving you a huge opportunity to really grow your ledger money and also to really grow your business. Now, after the 6 months is up, if you want to stay on NEXA 100, right, then you have to bring somebody in under you, right? Someone in on your downline. They also have some incentives sometimes. So it could be bring someone to UWM and different things like that, and you'll get additional months of NEXA 100. So they're always doing different things to try and, number one, help grow the company, but also help grow you as a loan officer. So back to the whole, yes, we're looking at the university here right now, but I also want to explain not just on the university, if you come on as a loan officer and you're going to get the NEXA 100 for the first 6 months, then looking at what that profit was, right? The NEXA profit of 3,300, that is going to your ledger. If you're not in the university, you don't have to worry about obviously the 75 basis points or anything like that. So I hope that's not too confusing, and I hope it makes sense. So who are the NEXA 100 lenders? They are right here. We actually used to have two or one more that we just got rid of. And we are probably going to bring on another lender or two. So UWM, PennyMac, Deep Haven, and Finance of America Reverse. Okay. Those are the NEXA 100 lenders. That means that in order for you to get the 100%, you have to use one of those lenders also. Okay. I can tell you that I use UWM and PennyMac almost all the time. They're both awesome for, different reasons. UWM is always having like a lot of different incentives and stuff like that. They also have great programs where you can bring your real estate agents or your referral partners out to UWM. They pay for everything. They do trainings on AI, social media, growing your business, marketing, stuff like that. So they're awesome. Now, look at the lender here. The lenders. I just want to show you another thing. Before, we had talked about support, right? We talked about loan officer support and who and how much support we actually have. Here's the thing. All of those where it says live, that means that the account executive is sitting there live on Zoom waiting to talk to you. So if you want to talk to Home Express about a bank statement loan that you have questions on, I can just click on the live button. Like I said, whether you're on your computer or your cell phone, I can pop in, talk to the AE, and just, go over the scenario with them, right? So this is how our back-end system works. Our loan officer support system works. We have the lenders live. They're ready to talk to you. As you can see here, we have the loan officer support coaches. It looks the exact same as this, only you're going to see the faces of the loan officer support coaches live there, ready to talk to you. So you can click on live Zoom, takes you to a Zoom room. You say, I need to talk to an LOS coach. Then they will connect you with the coach on Zoom. Or I need to talk to EPM. They will connect you with the EPM AE on Zoom. Everything's on Zoom. Lending Pad, you have an issue with Lending Pad. We also have vendors that are live here. So you have an issue with Lending Pad. I had one the other day. My DTI was not, I couldn't fix my DTI and the 1008 was not working, right? So I had to get on with Lending Pad on Zoom, right? Share screen, all of that stuff. So there's no more trying to go to your broker's office or trying to call somebody to get help. These people are there on Zoom waiting for you, right? They're there to help you. So when it comes to support, and I know we're talking about the NEXA 100 lenders, but when it comes to support, whether you need the support yourself or you're bringing on a team or you're bringing on other loan officers or whatever, they're there to help your team, whoever. Okay. So this is also really important. So once again, these are the NEXA 100 lenders. Where does your NEXA 100 overage go? It goes to your ledger. What can you use it for? You can use it for marketing. You can use it for CRM, coaching, virtual assistants. You can hire a virtual assistant from the Philippines and give them, as long as they pass a background check, give them a NEXA email address and pay them whatever you want to pay. My virtual assistant was $5 an hour. I've had her as an executive assistant for me for a while. I brought her on to NEXA Lending. She got the same thing, the Gmail, access to loanofficersupport.com, all of that stuff. So they just have to pass the background check, right? We're all about making sure that you're profitable and compliant. So CRM, coaches, virtual assistants, business travel, Zoom, Canva, Claude subscription, whatever is a business expense, you can use it. You're running Facebook ads. When I looked at that earlier, I thought it said concert tickets. I'm like, concert tickets, conference tickets. Okay, so if you want to go to UWM Live or EPM Tag or NAM or whatever, you can use the ledger money for that. And you can also bonus yourself, or you can bonus a team member, or you're trying to bring in some hotshot loan officer and most people are, going to give him a sign-on bonus. Well, guess what? You can give a sign-on bonus with your ledger money. And your ledger money should add up pretty quickly, especially since the first 6 months you're getting NEXA 100 anyways. So I can honestly say, in my opinion, that we have the best comp structure in the industry. And we really do have the best rates. And if you want to check pricing with me, then let's do that. Click the link where you can learn. And actually, at the end, I have a QR code, but click the link and let's talk. So for all of you people out there that are thinking, well, I only pay a flat fee or I'm my own broker shop, I promise you that, well, I don't want to say I promise you, but I'm pretty sure that we can look at an apples to apples comparison. And in many times we are going to be better when it comes to comp and making you more money. Okay. So this is one other thing I want to mention is that my ledger money, and I don't know if I mentioned this before, pays for my office. So I have an office in Bonita Springs. My ledger money pays for my office. Okay. So how can you make money at NEXA? There's a lot of different ways. Some people are like, I only want to worry about closing loans. Okay. And that's perfectly fine. You do not have to do anything else but close loans. But if you are interested in a downline and you're with me on my team or in my downline, right? I want to help you because I can show you how you can create passive income, not just for you, but also for your family. So when you come on board and you want to, if you do want to recruit, you have to set up your own LLC. Okay. All of your downline money is going to go into the LLC. Here's the thing. God forbid something happens to you. God forbid something happens to me, right? And I die. I'm not around anymore. Okay. My LLC is going to earn my revenue share for as long as the company is in existence. And all of that money that goes to my LLC is going to go to whoever I have designated on taking the money, taking over that LLC. So if you want to set up your family for receiving passive income, right? And generating passive income without doing anything, this is one of the ways. Several people that I've spoken to over the past couple of weeks said, Danielle, I'm 62 years old. Two separate people said this. I'm 62 years old. I don't want to hustle anymore. I don't want to be, grinding it out every day. I need an exit plan. I still think I'm going to work another 8, 10 years, whatever, but I need an exit plan. Guess what? This is one of the ways, right? This is a way to have an exit plan. It's to recruit. And if you don't want to recruit, that's fine. Don't. But say, Danielle, I need help, right? I have people that might be interested in NEXA and let me talk to them or let me help you, send them to my webinar, send my webinar to them, whatever you want to do, right? So that is one of the ways. The second is LOS coach. Like I said, you can become an LOS coach and get paid on referrals, right? Referrals from whoever is not licensed in those areas. You might have a niche or just want to help people. You can do the Pathfinder and Navigator loans, right? You can get referrals from other loan officers that are not licensed in your state. You can niche down, go after like reverse mortgage, and then you say, reverse is my thing. Anybody that does not want to do reverse, come to me. We can create a team agreement. Bring me your deals. We will work them together and we'll do a 50-50 split or a 60-40 split or a 70-30 split or whatever split you guys decide for your team, you can do. Remember, as long as it's compliant and profitable, it is a yes at NEXA. So you can, if you have leads, generating leads, you can bring in team members and give all of your leads to people on your team for for basis points. I know a lot of people at NEXA that are doing that for DSCR loans and working with investors, right? They're getting tons of leads from these investment groups. If you need leads, right? So you're just like, I am not generating enough business. We have a BDM program. So we also have the business development marketer program, but we also have a BDM program that I will go into in just a second. You can recruit, just be a recruiter. Maybe you don't even want to do loans anymore. All you want to do is recruit. You can do that also. And we also have the opportunity at AXEN Realty. AXEN is just NEXA spelled backwards. And you can become a growth partner and recruit for AXEN Realty as well, even if you do not have your real estate license. Okay. So the RELO and BDM program, what is that? RELO means the real estate loan officer. You have both your real estate license and your LO license. You can be 1099 or W-2 unless you're in a W-2 state. You have to have your loan officer license, and there's certain things that you have to do on the loan. You have to take the application, you have to pull their credit, you have to be paired to a loan officer assistant, and you have to assist in coordinating the closing, and that is it. So any relos on my team, for example, okay, I have everything teed up for you. When you have a client, I have the loan application email that goes out to them. I basically have all of the things that you would need to do as a real estate agent. I already have the system for you. So it's not that hard. It's actually sending an email, getting an email, pulling the credit, and that's it, right? So we basically tee everything up for you when you work with me as a relo. If you're a BDM, a BDM means that you are not licensed. You're a not licensed loan officer. You can be any profession. You can live anywhere in the world. You have to be a W-2 for NEXA. Okay. You have to submit a monthly activity report. And then you just have to fill out a form where any of your leads are coming from. So I have real estate agents that are not licensed, that are business development marketers. I don't know why it says manager. It should say marketer for me. Okay. They're already sitting the open houses. All they're doing is talking about, NEXA Lending and me as the loan officer, blah, 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 sending me the referrals. I'm closing the deals. They are getting a percentage at closing. Okay. So that is our BDM program. Once again, if you want to talk to me more in depth about any of this, please click the link at the end. I'm going to show you a QR code that you can also scan. Now, this is if you need leads. We have an internal BDM, basically like an ISA, inside sales agent, right? That will be cold calling for you. You tell them where you want them to focus, who you want them to call, realtors, financial advisors. They establish the relationship with those people. So if it's a realtor, they establish the relationship. Here's what's important. They will also maintain that relationship. They will stay in touch with them. They will, reach out to them if they're doing open houses. So it's not your relationship. Okay. It's their relationship, but you're going to do the loan. Okay. They will provide the loan status updates and you split the commission. So if you are looking for referrals to just get deals, right, you can use an internal inside business development manager that will basically reach out, cold call for you, and getting relationships with realtors, financial advisors, title agents, etc. And you're just splitting the commissions on those deals. If you don't know, Mike Cordes.fizbo.com, he is doing trainings. I'm going to try and hurry it up here because I know we're an hour. He is doing trainings on how to make more money with Fizbos. This is how he built his business. This is how he made most of his money, was going after FSBO, not real estate agents, for sale by owners. So he just bought FSBO.com. This is a huge opportunity because you are getting the inside of FSBO.com as a loan officer at NEXA. He is now rolling this out to the real estate agents, probably at AXEN Realty first, and then I'm sure it will be, to everybody. But anyways, if you want that inside training on how to work FSBOs and get deals from FSBOs, this is the place to be for that. Beverly.ai, that's what I mentioned before. That is going to be our new loan operating system or software, whatever you want to call it. It's going to replace LendingPad. It's going to replace Arrive. It is not doing that yet because obviously people are not adapting it as quickly as they should be, right? So LendingPad and Arrive are not going away right now, but this is the way of the future. And from what I've heard from people that are actually using it, it will cut your time down to literally like what would take you 20 minutes to scrub a file, check the income, check the assets, check for large deposits, do this, do that, blah, blah, blah. It is doing it all for you, right? It's AI doing it all for you. And that's one of the things about NEXA. We are not a dinosaur. Like, we are literally always on the cutting edge. We are always adopting new things, right? That are going to make your life so much better. Nexacations is something, some of these are no more, but Mike does have properties that are his that you can book for $450 for the entire week, right? So if you want one of the properties for a vacation, you are allowed to go in, book it, $450 for the week. We also have Jet Nexa, which is his private jet company that you can get, legs, like super cheap at cost legs and stuff like that. We have our annual NEXA conference, which is coming up in October. I already got my tickets for it. And the Christmas party, which is in Arizona. The conference is in Dallas. So there's so many different ways to get together throughout the year. And then we have a great partnership with UWM. Okay. So if you have real estate agents that you want to like deepen your relationship with them, right? You can take them to UWM for the success track training. I just went to one. They will pay for your agents. You can bring up to 4, I think, per LO. They will pay for your agent's hotel. They will pay for the flights. They do a full day of training at UWM. They pay for the transportation to and from UWM and the hotel. They pay for the hotel. They have like a dinner with drinks and stuff like that. So it is one of the best ways to take your agent to a mortgage company, show them what it's all about, get them trained, and have that one-on-one training. And guess what? UWM is paying for it. So this is a great opportunity. The BDM program, the RELO program, you can hire your own team and virtual assistants. I don't know any other company that would allow you to hire your own virtual assistant and then use ledger money to, expense it, right? Your downline income, AXEN Realty. So we have so many benefits for you and for your family. So the downline income is something that is going to go on whether you're still around or not. So if you are interested in building that team, it's going to allow you to close a lot more deals, right? And make a lot more money. So here's the biggest thing that I'm really passionate about. If you don't know anything about me, I love to travel and I love helping entrepreneurs escape the hustle culture through systems, through automation, through AI, and through leveraged income. And really, the ultimate goal is to live a life by design and not by default. And so we're really building a community here with me at NEXA. And we're building an ecosystem where we have, aside from what NEXA has, which is all of the trainings that I just showed you, we have on-demand trainings. I have weekly live lunch and learns. I have webinars. I have in-person networking events. I help with recruiting. You get a website. You get done by one CRM, which is also a company that I own, at a discount. And you have community and membership access where I'm really helping teach you on AI, on systems, on social media, on mindset, on leverage, and you have the support. Okay. So I'm really passionate about growing this ecosystem here at NEXA and would love for you to be a part of it. So what we are looking for is loan officers to come on board, join our downline, or join my team at NEXA. If you're a loan officer that wants to be part of a team, that wants more of the support, that doesn't want to go into the NEXA University, then we can talk about that. If you're not licensed yet, then we can talk about the Broker X program to get you licensed. If you're a real estate agent and you're wanting to come on as a RELO because you do have your mortgage broker's license as well, guys, we're about to go into a refi boom at some point. I know we've been saying this for a year and a half, but we are at some point, right? What a way to make more money on refinances with your current database, right? That what a way to make money on home equity lines of credit with your current database without having to like go out and find more deals. This is a huge opportunity, whether you're a RELO or you want to be a business development marketer, right? You don't have to be licensed for that. So if you want more information about that, schedule an appointment to meet with me. And if you are closing 10 plus deals a year, I want to take you to UWM. I want to show you everything about NEXA. This is a great opportunity. It's 2 full days. It's quick. You go in like usually a Wednesday night. You have all day Thursday, a half day Friday, Friday afternoon, you're flying back, but you're with the CEO, you're with the COO, you're with the tech team, you're with everybody at NEXA, and you will get all of your questions answered. And I will also say it's a lot of fun. So that is the QR code right there. Scan it right now, please. And that is the form to fill out if you want more information and you want to speak with me, or you want to go to book.donebyone.ai. That is my calendar booking link. Once again, it's book.donebyone.ai. So you can scan the QR code or schedule a meeting with me. So the Discover NEXA, we do it every 2 months. There is one in July. So if you're interested right now and you want to go in July, if not, just we can talk about another one that's coming up. There is also, just going to say this real quick, an AXEN immersion coming up. If you're interested in learning more about, you're a realtor and you want to know more about AXEN Realty, we have space for August, I want to say 18th and 19th. It is going to be in Michigan. Your flights will be paid for. Your hotel will be paid for. So anyways, you're going to have an amazing experience, and really understand what both NEXA and AXEN is all about if you come to any of those. So just want to say thank you guys for, I know it's over an hour. Thank you for being here with me. Once again, here is that QR code to scan. I would love to talk to you more about joining NEXA. I would love to talk to you more about coming on, to the team or the downline or whatever you want to talk about. But I would love to have you, and that's it. I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you for bearing with me for this hour and 18 minutes, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.